What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for being patient, I guess. I know that I said that you would see less of me, and so I'm breaking that rule today. You're going to see a little bit of me, but this will probably be it for a little while. Like I said, I'm not making any promises of when I'll be making videos, but when I feel compelled to, I'll still pop on this channel and make a topic and make a video about a topic I think is really relevant and important, and today is that day. First of all, before I get into it, personal update, I'm feeling great about my decision to take a little bit of a space for myself and to back a little bit away from the channel, from social media altogether, and just explore and dive into interesting new topics that have nothing to do with music, nothing to do with sync. I still follow some of the developments, of course, with AI music and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just really glad that I gave myself this space and this opportunity to do this. I feel like I'm finally scratching that itch that I had deep down. And I obviously want to really thank all of you that gave me the support to be able to go for this and to give a shot at this and for encouraging me to do this as well. Thank you for all of that. That just meant the world to me, all the comments and emails and support you guys gave me. But back to today's video topic. Something has popped up fairly consistently in my email inbox and actually even in Sync Academy in the last couple of weeks. And it is that really exciting day that some of you have, maybe in your future, or maybe you just went through it, of pitching music to a library for the very first time. First of all, congratulations. That is not an easy thing to do, regardless of the outcome. Putting yourself out there and actually hitting send on that email, that's a really bold, courageous, and risky thing to do. It is the only way, I believe, to create potentially full-time income for yourself, is putting yourself out there like that and risking rejection, risking being ignored, but for the potential reward of directly partnering with libraries, not relying on anybody in the middle to getting you a career started, right? So first of all, give yourself a big pat on the back. That is not an easy thing to do, and I think you guys should really give yourselves a lot of credit if you've made that jump. However, with that really important day in your career, there is a mistake I'm seeing being made over and over again, and that mistake is not having backup library options, right? As you're doing your research, maybe you're using Sync Match to find the library that's basically placing your music the most. Maybe you're just doing your own research online using ChatGPT, Google search, going on LinkedIn, whatever you're doing. However you found that one library that you're really excited to pitch to, that's great. And hopefully you did enough research to know this is definitely somebody that places my type of music and they're accepting new composers, right? But if there's no option 2, 3, 4, or 5, and I think you should have 3 to 5 backup companies, you're putting yourself at a major disadvantage and potentially setting yourself up to be extremely disappointed and heartbroken, okay? I think it's fairly obvious why. If that first library you pitch out to doesn't accept you, says no, or sends you terms that you just don't agree with, and you didn't have sort of plan B already lined up, you can definitely feel like the air in your entire bubble and your motivation and excitement for this business can just be pulled out and popped and deflated. And you will feel like probably giving up or certainly walking away for a time until you feel more excited again. What I like to do, and what I try to coach all of you guys to do when you are pitching to libraries, is to have backups. Because if you have a couple of libraries that you're excited about, what you're basically doing is preparing yourself for rejection from day one. And spoiler alert, you're going to have rejection in your career. Chances are, okay, I hope you all get accepted by the very first library you pitch to. I'm rooting for you guys, okay? I'm on your team. Realistically, chances are you probably won't get accepted by the first library you pitch to. That's just the odds, that's the statistics. There's a lot of producers out there composing and producing and sending music to libraries. And the normal story for most producers is they pitch to somebody, they don't get accepted, it sucks. That's just the normal way this operation works. So have that as a sort of just in case in your mind. Well, be ambitious, take a shot at it, right? Go for it. Also keep in mind, the statistical odds are most people don't get accepted by the library they pitch to immediately on the first try, okay? If you know that's likely going to happen to you, don't let that maybe inevitable scenario kill all of your hopes and aspirations and have you feel completely defeated, because that is the very delicate balance that we have to be very cautious and mindful of. It's not about the technical skills or how do you compose the email or how do you get your stems over to a library. These are all important things, but they're nothing compared to the battle, the psychological battle and the mind frame. Like setting ourselves up for being successful. That is required if you want to make it through the first couple of years of this business, which frankly are the hardest years. It's really the first couple of years. It's so much heavy lifting and patience and consistency and facing rejection and getting ghosted and all that fun stuff. You got to get through that to get to the promised land of where you're trying to go in this business. So having a couple of backup libraries, 3 to 5, is what I'm telling you guys. That's what we've been talking about with Sync Focus and Sync Academy. And I still stand by that to this day, is you got to have some backups so that when the first library within maybe a week or two doesn't get back to you, send them one follow-up email. If you still don't hear from them, no sweat, right? You've got the second library you can start to pitch to. And all the while, you are going through this process of giving each library a week or two to get to you before you maybe move on and find another company. You should always be making new music. There's no reason to be sitting around waiting for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks for some library to accept you, and then you start making music again. I know it's sometimes hard to just make music when there's no pressure, when there's no expectation of it, when nobody's giving you a brief, there's no sync fee in front of you, right? You can kind of just feel like, how many of these can I make? It is very hard. It's very tricky, right? There's ways around it. Collaborating, getting connected to other people. That's what we're doing at Sync Academy. Obviously, you can join us if you'd like to get access to that community. But there's a lot of other things you can be doing and you should be doing and staying productive while you're in this pitching process. But please, please, please take this from this video. If you did submit to one library recently or you're about to and you don't have other companies, that's what's on your docket today. Don't go make new music today, okay? Today, you should go do some research, okay? Like I said, Google search production music TV. That could be one thing. ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT for some recommendations. Using Sync Match, obviously, it's a tool that I developed, and I've developed it specifically with my expertise, with my sensibility of what I think, from the feedback we've gathered from our users. What is it you guys really want? Which is you just want the answer very quickly. Which library should I submit to? And based on the music that I make, right? That's what you get answered with Sync Match, with their contact information, websites, email addresses, all that good stuff. So that can get you the answers sooner than anything else, and with real marketplace data that we've recently collected every 30 days. That's why I created that app, if it's not obvious. It's really, really solving that problem for I think we have like 700 producers now using the app. So it's a really, really successful platform. But regardless, whatever you do, however you want to get access to your libraries, make sure today you have 2, 3, 4, and 5 filled out in terms of you've got their website, you've done a little bit of digging on what kind of placements they get, you've listened to their music, and you've got their contact information ready to go, so that when, if, hopefully not, but if you don't get your first library deal, you can just move on to 2, 3, 4, 5 and know that you've got a backup plan. Trust me, it just takes off a lot of the edge and the anxiety and the worry of all this stuff. If all 5 say no, if all 5 ghost you, if all 5 are a failure, don't worry about it. We've had many producers on this very channel come on saying they got rejected or passed over by 10, 20, 30, even 40 libraries before they found the one that was the right one. Again, that's why this industry will chop people up long before usually they get a real foothold into it and start getting that snowball moving. It's not easy. It's not fun to send out that many emails and wait and be that patient and wait till you find a home for your music. But it is the path for some producers until they find that right home for them. So if all 5 say no, guess what? Rinse and repeat. Let's move on to the next 5. And we have, I think it's like 200 companies in our Sync Match database. So if the first 5 don't say yes, you got 195 more, okay? It's not like we're running out of production music libraries. No, there's not infinite number of companies that are doing this, but there's a good number of them. And there's plenty of space as long as your music is really high quality. And again, as long as you're here for consistent output and consistent and persistent effort. So anyways, that's what I want to share with you guys today. Thank you so much. How you been? What's been going on in your life? Leave a comment below. Give me the update. I haven't seen or heard from you guys. Seems like maybe about a month or 2 now. So I'm just curious. How are things going in your world? Are you feeling productive in your career? Are you at a low point? Are you feeling stagnated? There's no right or wrong answer. Just want to check in with you.